Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. Here are your hosts, Scott Bear and Jeremiah Johnson.
Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm Jeremiah.
Welcome back to yet another week. What are we up to? Episode 335?
335, although we've probably done about 345 because we didn't number some of them.
Oh, we might be up to 350.
But could be close, yeah.
Welcome to the 350th episode of the Lost at Home podcast. For all we fucking know.
Let's just number the next one at the real number that we're actually like. Let's just go back and retroactively.
We'd have to go back and count, yeah. I actually wouldn't mind knowing because we do not have a true number.
I think it was like 6 or 8 episodes we recorded as COVID episodes or something. It may have been less.
We said we were going to do so many more COVID episodes, and then we did less.
Because I remember like we thought maybe we'd do some more during that time, but also we realized how it was really difficult to find any stories.
Yeah, every story was about COVID, and it wasn't funny.
We decided not to number it because we were like, this will be over in no time. This will be like a month's worth of stuff, and then we were like, fuck this. This is getting too crazy. Nope. So
tragedy plus time. Now we can pick on COVID.
Yep.
Now COVID stories are hilarious.
Yeah, because it's over, baby.
It's never ending.
No, we're done.
I was really hoping it would turn into like a flu season where once a year you worried, is this the one that'll kill us all?
Yeah,
but instead it's like, it's just always there.
And if it timed itself with the flu season, be like, oh, okay, I'll
wear a mask and avoid both.
Yeah. And honestly, like that's during a time of the year where I kind of prefer to not go out that much anyway, so it gives me more of an excuse. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like wearing a mask in the cold months. It makes my face warm.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is I realized on those cold days, I'm like, oh, this is nice because I
love wearing a mask in the winter.
I never had masks like before to cover my face. They were always cold face. And now
except for that brief time where I was in the KKK. Boy, those masks were warm.
Oh, yeah. Well, those are good. So I think those are a little different. But
yeah, the KKK really had this COVID thing down. Yeah. They were wearing masks before any of us.
Yeah. Oh, and then they took them off. They're like, fuck this liberal bullshit. I'm taking my hood off. So
Matt Gaetz, put that hood back on. You're going to get COVID. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene, put that mask back on. You're going to get COVID.
Yeah.
I actually watched some of her thing today.
Her testification?
Yeah, like where she denied saying things, and then they showed her an actual iPad with it written in like her own tweet, her name above it. Oh, I guess maybe I did say it.
So this is an aside already.
It's a big aside.
But before we've even talked about this, but I was one of my favorite sketch comedy shows out there that I've watched both seasons multiple times. Just recently rewatched the second season for the third time. Is I Think You Should Leave.
KKK Jamboree.
No, I much better than that. It's the Tim Robinson's I Think You Should Leave.
God, I fucking love that show.
But I've just been one of the skits I've watched probably 5 times in the last 2 days is Brian's hat, where he's in the courtroom and they're reading off all these texts about like this like securities fraud, but as part of the text chain they're talking about this guy's hat. Like oh my fucking god, did you see Brian's hat? It's like a fedora with safari flaps, and he's in the crowd. Be like, what the fuck? And then they're and then of course it goes off on a talk, and then it's like, do you recognize these texts? And then they're reading them again, and they're like, yeah, we're good on the money. Oh yeah. By the way, have you seen Brian's still wearing that fucking hat? And then it goes.
I don't remember that
long
one
diatribe where it's just like this long 5-minute thing of them like they're in the text thread. They're just talking about Brian's hat, and he's in the crowd be like, he had like two cubes in his pocket, and I'm pretty sure they were dice. That's so fucking sad, but he was too afraid to show them to people. It's so sad. So sad. So sad. What the fuck? And he's just, anyway.
That does remind me of the Taylor Greene thing, because, she looks so bad on the stand.
Well, and I watched like a couple seconds of it and realized I can't stand hearing her talk or anything, and then, but I did see that she was like, suddenly, it's funny how so many people just can't remember any events leading up to literally a year ago. They're like, I don't remember leading up, because they're like, you can't really prove they can't remember. So it's
luckily
like the easy way to lie.
Luckily there's tons of video and her own tweets.
Oh yes, that's the thing, is you dumbasses are so intent on going viral.
Her narcissism is gonna put the nail in the coffin. She will not be elected to Georgia.
Yeah, all these people that are just like making themselves like they're guilty on camera so many times because they're just clamoring for all this attention. So they say dumb shit on the air. And
my only worry is the judge seemed pretty sympathetic to her, which was weird.
I mean, I don't think it was gonna she's gonna still be on the ballot. It's gonna be fine, but like
she shouldn't be, because clearly what they're stating is is enough evidence to get you off the ballot. It's enough.
It should be. I just don't think it's gonna go anywhere, because the burden of proof is on them to make it a little bit. I feel like unfortunately that burden of proof is a little too hard to cross, and it's also, I mean, it would just make her a fucking martyr anyway.
I just want the lawyer to come out and be like, look at her. her. Hey, look at her.
We'd probably end up with a more competent version of her because she's going to be a really like far right Republican no matter what in that district.
Yeah.
So really at the same, it's like, okay, maybe we should just have a completely inept woman who's honestly, she's not even on committees right now. So like she might actually be the best, unfortunately, best. If it
You're
was like,
almost right.
If it was like, oh shit,
You're
it's the devil, it's kind of thing. It's like, why it'd be great if, we didn't have Trump in 2024, but if it means we have DeSantis, I'm more worried about DeSantis than I am Trump.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're not a political podcast.
What is this show?
We're a political podcast.
The fuck is this
we
podcast?
talk about the news that clearly did not fall through the cracks and that everybody was airing for all day.
Shit.
So that's not okay. The opposite of what we just did is what
this is what we are. Lost at Home started with the simple idea of a couple friends shooting the shit for the world to hear. It's evolved into a soft-hitting news podcast, taking the lost stories from the internet and spinning them into new content. Movies, TV shows, books, you name it. We've generated it. I messed up my own copy.
That's fine. You didn't have to. If you didn't stop, it would have been fine.
Yeah. We encourage our listeners to use any of the free content we make, whether it be a TV show, book idea. It does not matter. We've come up with a lot of different things. Have fun with it, and keep tuned because some weeks we do have guest stars, like guest hosts. We have interviews. We have honestly slacked since last October-ish when we had Maddie Granger on. We had Mike Myers on.
Mike Myers.
James Jude Courtney, who played Mike Myers.
Yeah, James Jude Courtney, who played
If you
Mike
had Mike Myers on to
from...
be a shitty podcast, be like, Mike Myers, why'd you kill his people?
Well, no, I was thinking...
It did just, like I like you creak the floorboard, because that would be his response, because he doesn't talk.
Well, also, I don't know if he goes by, Michael, right? Mike Myers is from Wayne's World. Yes.
No, Mike Myers, the famous killer.
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't So I Married an Axe Murderer, although I think he was the one who married the axe murderer. Wasn't the axe murderer the woman?
Wasn't So I Married an Axe Murderer a prequel to Halloween? Isn't that how we learned how Mike Myers became a killer?
Oh, exactly. It's canon, yeah. The actor Mike Myers, who played a different character, becomes Michael Myers in Halloween in 1978.
It all tracks.
Despite the fact that I Married an Axe Murderer took place about 22 years after the first Halloween.
Remember, there's 3 Halloween timelines. I just made a 4th.
I like it.
The So You Married an Axe Murderer timeline, where you ignore pretty much all the movies except that one, and you cherry pick a later Halloween movie.
So I think...
like H2O and So I Married an Axe Murderer. Yeah. Boom.
Oh, I feel like we got to do like Halloween. Which one is it? Is it 6, the one with Paul Rudd in it? Because I feel like we could definitely link Paul Rudd and Mike Myers. They're definitely got to be there's got to be like no degrees of separation between them. They've got to have been in something together, or at least 1 degree.
Yeah, I watched that not that long ago. It's a good one.
It's just fun because it's. I mean, all of them are fun.
The H2O timeline is fun, but the silliest because that's one of Busta Rhymes.
I haven't watched the H2O and Resurrection ones like since I haven't watched those in a long time. So
they're crazy. They're over the top and they're slapsticky and
Busta fucking Rhymes.
There's kung fu in it.
I know. It's to me. I might have to go out and say, despite having not seen them in a long time, those might be the greatest Halloween movies ever made. Sorry, James Jude Courtney.
They're trying with the James Jude Courtney ones. He picked up a dude like with a chainsaw or something. Like just picked him up in the air and like.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's
supernaturally strong now.
Yes,
but he's always been supernaturally bulletproof. So what's the diff?
Yeah, there's always been, and all just being able to come back to life nonstop.
We both know someone who didn't like how he was all of a sudden super strong, and I'm like. He's able to take like 1,000 bullets. He's pretty much like a retarded Superman.
The only one
just walking around and like, I'm gonna kill you. Not like I'm gonna fly to Metropolis and work for a newspaper. He's a little slow in the head.
The only one you could argue wasn't like that was literally the first one, where it didn't get shot till the end, and then he fell off the balcony. And then
he got shot a lot of times.
But again, remember in the first one they don't
show 2 stories.
They don't show him getting up. It wasn't until the second one where they show him getting up. So in the first one, he was maybe supposed to be dead. It wasn't supposed to even have a sequel.
It wasn't supposed to have a sequel.
Yeah, so ultimately the first one was the most realistic.
That's why the James Jude Courtney ones are fun, because then they fill in that blank by doing the flashbacks.
Yes, yeah.
Where he gets up, and then the cops are like, we found him after he got up, and then he's like, I'll take more bullets.
Which is funny, because actually the original Halloween 2 was similar to that, where I actually liked the original Halloween 2 because it took place literally the second the first one stopped, where they look over the balcony, he's gone, and they just pick it up where it left off. So it was I don't think that's a bad one to
they could have jumped in with the new ones being a sequel to this 2.
Yeah, because then you get into Season of the Witch, which has nothing to do with Michael Myers, so you could actually say like, oh, that's actually where the canon stops, and we have 1 and 2.
They made a choice.
Yeah, But I mean, hey, I love every fucking one of them, including Season.
Honestly, I like them all. I like all the timelines.
Yeah. I'll take Season of the Witch any day too. Halloween, Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
I need to go back and rewatch that too.
Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Maybe there's no reason why it's Irish people either. Really, it feels like it's just Irish hate.
I just fucking
like someone just hates gingers and made them
weird.
villains.
It's such a weird movie. It's so fucking weird.
And how many Irish mega corporations are there? Number one,
Guinness.
And how many of them
Jameson.
make toys?
Guinness, Jameson. You gotta get them in Ireland. They just
baby's first Guinness. Toddler's JMO.
Yeah. Oh no! God damn it! He's one of them fucking. He's a. Oh shoot! What the hell's the name of the other one? The other Irish whiskey that gets in fights with Jameson because one's Protestant and the other's Catholic.
Shit.
Yeah, that's what it
forget
was.
my names of whiskeys.
No, I can't believe it because not Tullamore Dew, but it's one of those.
That would have been one I would have
people are screaming at me.
It doesn't
right
matter.
Yeah. Anyway. Bushmills. Bushmill.
Oh, I would not have gone that. I would have gone Tullamore Dew first.
Yeah. Bushmill is the they're like
Tullamore Dew.
One is. I mean, I don't think they're really fighting now, but the
Sure,
families are
Laura.
like, oh, one's Protestant, the other's Catholic. So
I haven't tried my Irish accent in
Yeah.
a long time. Lucky Charms. Oh, they're delicious.
oh, Lucky Charms.
Oh, they're delicious.
There was a recall on Lucky Charms because they were making people.
no.
Yeah, they were making people sick.
Poison rainbows.
Yes, poison rainbows. Vomit-inducing
Oh,
stars.
the gays will stop at nothing to get us.
Oh, part of the agenda. The Irish gay agenda. Poison you fuckers. Everybody know gays don't eat Lucky Charms. They're to get you straight, so puking up your guts now.
I just don't think I've ever said the words poison rainbows before.
Hey, it's gonna be a first time.
It could be a title too. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, actually,
it's
that's-
early in the show.
Yeah,
but
let's add that. And yeah, so anyway, if people want to wonder like whether we can make random tangential content about anything, that you just make tangential content on your own introduction copy. So we haven't actually got to any stories yet.
no, we just talked about Halloween and whiskey.
Yeah, which came
I
out
mean,
of which came
two
out of
of our
you
favorite
saying,
things.
which came out of you saying.
You know,
guest stars
honestly,
and interviews.
we've been working on rebranding the show. I think it just might be like, let's just talk about horror movies and liquor.
Dude, honestly, I mean,
I think there's already podcasts about that, but
If it's just we're literally just sipping whiskey and talking about horror movies, I mean, I could do that all
yeah,
day.
you like review the whiskey.
We pair a whiskey with, or just we pair a liquor with the horror movie.
You hear
And
this? This is the end of the Lost and Home podcast, but also the beginning of the Lost and Home podcast.
Oh yeah, we're like hard pivot. Next episode.
I'm pushing. I really hope we had 15 lost episodes from COVID, so we could bring the number to 350 and have the excuse to rebrand.
Can we add this to Empty Promises?
Rebranding? Completely rebranding the show. We could try to get you could try to get whiskey sponsors.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is like,
Free whiskey in the mail. Is that
this could help us out with October. So we like to line up guests for October, and then we'll have one episode for like October proper or for, Halloween proper, where we watch like 3 movies, and we come to the table and we pair our liquors with the movies, and you pick your pair, I'll pick my pair. We'll each have like 2 movies each. We come chat about the movies, and we pair our liquor. We actually sip the whiskey and whatnot with them, and we get some liquor sponsors. We get a guest, Darren Ewing pop on there, Kyle Brock take a.
We already got James
smack.
Hugh Courtney coming back for his
Yep.
3rd year in a row to be
And-
Mike Myers on our show.
Yeah. So maybe that's an Empty Promises, a Halloween episode where we pair whiskey or just we'll rebrand and that'll be the entire show.
I'd say just once they hit 350, we just redo the entire show. We've been finding it really hard to find news stories, and we
I will
love
say,
horror films.
If this feels like, I actually almost went back to horror.
and I just
horror
want to do
around
what
the globe.
we want. Fuck our audience. No
Actually-
offense. No offense, audience.
You know what
No offense, audience at all. But you're listening to us, and I figure if we talk about another thing, you might like that too. And plus, we can spin any horror movie into any kind of fucking bullshit conversation.
Yeah.
This is the mean potatoes you guys are hearing right now.
Actually, you know what I just realized?
Jared just deleted the show notes.
Next around next week is officially the halfway to Halloween mark.
Oh, motherfucker. And if it's 350...
You know?
I'm not
We might-
against rebranding the show.
We've almost done it a few times.
Could you imagine it, instead of taking an hour and a half to dig through show notes, read those stories, talk about those stories, and like get ready for the show?
Watch horror movies?
Just watch a horror movie.
Which I need to watch more horror movies anyway because I've been slacking on them, and it'd be great to. Although, yeah, I'm gonna.
And we'd review the horror movie, of course, but then we just talk like we do,
review the horror movie, sip on, and again, I like
talk shit.
I like the pairing aspect of it. We can pair like a whiskey with the horror movie and explain why we paired this one. It could like link into like, oh, this was shot in this area, and this is the whiskey that goes with that, or this one felt like a real cold kind of whiskey, and I really felt like this Scotch really kind of had the peaty feel of watching The Ritual from or something like
Lost
that.
at Home still can have a creepy connotation of like literally being lost in your own home.
Yeah.
You don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
we need a new intro song too.
Yeah.
We've had that one for almost 250 episodes. Might be time to put out some feelers.
Yeah. All right.
Too bad we don't know any musicians.
That's true. They're hard to come by in this day and age.
Although it is kind of nice to have a outside of the podcast musician.
It's true.
I was
yes.
making the joke that Jared's a very talented musician,
hope,
but to have an outside source.
That's the thing is I would never want to do our own. It seems weird. Yeah, I
feels narcissistic, like talking for hours out loud so other people can listen to you.
Yeah, I feel like that's just going too far. And I can go out on my own songs, like I hope people enjoyed Fuck the Cloaca last week.
And we can also bring news stories to the table too if they're tangential. There can be horror news stories, like our first story in web droppings this week.
I'd love to look at them. And
is horror
around the globe. We have a whole wiki sheet like based around like all the stuff we never got to when we were doing that.
Did you guys hear this? Is every listener listening to the fact that we might be rebranding the show and we just spent 5 minutes on air talking about it?
You know the funny thing is you created this blurb so we could quickly explain our show, and then we spent 15 minutes to talking about how we're not going to do that show anymore.
Deconstructing it,
that was supposed to help speed up the show so we can get into web dropping.
I also dig the idea of keeping the web dropping idea, working it in, but you look for those slightly more horror type stories like the first one in web droppings today. This would be a perfect one.
That's the thing is we could still keep a web droppings in there, but we cut that to like half the show, then the other, and we try to make we could have a hybrid show. There's no reason not to
talk about the horror movie we watched, talk about some web droppings that are tangentially horror, talk about our drink of the week.
Yep. The pairing of the we could pair a liquor with the story and a liquor. We each come to the table with one story and one horror movie.
Okay,
and
how much liquor are we buying for this show, by the way? Because you're not even drinking liquor at the moment.
That's true, but there's always a reason to restart. A week into my sobriety. Just looking for reasons to get back on that fucking get off that wagon.
I really like this idea.
It'd be funny. We're just like, let's pair our own favorite smokable crack on there too, huh? Yeah, come on now, come on. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, our favorite upper. That's what we'll go and pop. They're like, I don't know. This is a real meth movie. Had a real good.
I give this movie 3 fentanyls.
Yeah, it really had me subdued, really just chilling on the couch. Yeah, this other one is action packed and it was definitely a good Florida meth. Yeah. Oh, this is a crocodile story.
Well, I think we've given each other a lot to talk about off air.
Yes, I think so. Let's just
continue
to brainstorm.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but I think if we could hit 350 and it's halfway to Halloween, it would be like a rebranding on a new level.
I feel like regardless, next week we got to do a halfway to Halloween episode. We usually try to do that anyway. So.
And nothing else changes. Logo still works. Everything still works.
Yeah, we generally do a halfway Halloween where we get a week off from looking for weird news stories, which is good because then we essentially have 2 weeks to go back on for the next one. And really what it is anytime there's something serious, like crazy serious going on in the world, like the Ukraine stuff right now, the same happened at the beginning of COVID. Eventually, there's the stories with that, even as it continues, will die down a little bit, and some of the weird stuff will filter back to the top. But right now, we're the real victims in this Ukraine war because we're the ones not getting nearly as many weird stories to bring to you. And you, the listener, are probably also, you might think of yourselves as a podcast refugees, my listeners. Is this too soon?
Too soon.
Okay. Right.
Things were simpler when we started the show. It was really easy to get weird stories.
2014, different time.
2014 was a completely different time.
Yeah, Barack Obama was, ruining the country instead of...
there were no wars. There was no Trump. There was no COVID.
We were in wars, but we weren't starting wars.
But those were already 14 years old, so time plus tragedy equals comedy.
We had a teenage war by that time. Actually, had just turned 13 at that time.
Yeah,
right?
that war could get molested by a priest.
Oh, yeah. I think any age war could get molested by a priest. I think priests would have molested a 5-year-old war. Priests would have molested 9/11 in 2005.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Giving priests too much credit here.
Yeah, come on now.
They don't wait till the teens.
No. That's actually
or else there'd be 12 teen and 11 teen and 10 teen.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's already 19, but
5 teen. Yeah.
15. That wasn't a kid. That was a 15-year-old.
15-year-old.
Well, that would still be illegal if you're trying to say and failing at saying 15-year-old.
Yeah. That's the thing is, 14, 16, they sound right, but it's not 15.
No.
There ain't no such thing as 15-year-old. All right.
I couldn't have raped that 15-year-old because there's no such thing as a 15-year-old.
See, that's right. Ironclad
No one
defense.
said there was but you.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, this is the ironclad of that at age.
This is just him in a hotel room in a mirror trying to work on his defense, doing both voices at himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And,
well, a 15-year-old sucks him off.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'll get this straight soon enough. I'm all distracted from what these 15-year-old lips. Oh, ding dong. That's right. Okay, we are definitely,
All right, web dropping.
Dropping 2.0.
All right, we are back. We totally didn't just take a 30-minute break to discuss what we just discussed in further detail.
At least we took a break.
With some ideas.
At least we took a break. We realized that we needed to discuss some stuff off air.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the last episode of the Lost No Podcast. We're not going with any of the ideas. We're just done.
Yeah, we just got in a big fight. So we are done.
But yeah, we did the meat and potatoes. They're behind the scenes, and we got some ideas. So tune in next week for
halfway to
something.
Halloween. Yeah, and we're gonna
halfway to Halloween.
Bing bong boom.
I actually dig that. Halfway to Halloween. Fucking love it.
Yeah, I mean we've done it some version of it in the past, where usually we just cover some horror stories, and just try to do that. So.
Instead, we're gonna reformat everything.
Yeah, bap, bap, bap. Throw out the baby with the bathwater.
And bap 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 was my excuse for not being able to do an air horn sound with my mouth.
Cool. Bap 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 is good.
Yeah, bap bap bap. It's like you're just hitting someone with an air horn physically.
Yeah. Air horn that doesn't work.
Isn't that the sound of an air horn? Just bap. Oh, there's a button you can press. Oh, it makes other sounds.
That's what an air horn is.
I thought it also made the clunk 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 sound when I dropped it down the stairs. Those things are versatile. All right. First story I brought to the table. This is an amazing story, in my opinion, because it is local. Lone Star Ticks. Have you heard of them? Because I hadn't until this week.
And I would say Lone Star Ticks, so this must be a Texas story.
This is we're a Vermont podcast, so...
I was wondering why you said local.
So these ticks have made their way all the way from Texas to Vermont. And honestly, I don't even know if they came from Texas.
I don't know. I was
names.
just trying to set up a thing of no, sir, these are from Vermont now. I don't know where they're from originally, but Lone Star would be Lone Star State, right?
Yep,
but,
they've in Vermont. They've been detected in the southern portion of Vermont. There are not a lot of them, so don't be afraid yet. But as we've discovered over the last few years, ticks, when they start coming to Vermont, we never used to have tick problems here. They came en masse. Like, you can't walk through a field in Vermont now without getting a tick on you. They're a big issue. They're a big problem. Everyone hates them because of Lyme disease and the fucking fact they're bloodthirsty monsters.
Yeah, they're disgusting. I luckily do not get a ton of ticks, despite the fact that they are all over the place. I don't go traipsing around in fields, but it is I go down to my dad's who lives in the country, and we'll go out. We do the whole tuck the pants into the socks, even if it's hot outside, and do the fucking spray around, and we'll walk through a field and you'll still have at least 20 or 30 ticks crawling on you by the time you're done.
Disgusting.
And they're disgusting. We just take a hose, and then even after undoing, we have to check each other over and everything.
Yep.
And it's this just, and that was different from because people are like, why does this happen? And be like, oh, but climate change isn't real, despite the fact that people are literally pointing to climate change for
they got warmer, so they moved north.
The uptick. The uptick.
Oh, there's an uptick in
well,
ticks.
I'm going to kill myself now.
Yes. Dad joke of the week. I've been working on my air horn in the time where I haven't made any sound but words. Yeah. I've been working on my air horn.
Yeah, it's nice. In your head, the mental air horn, and then it comes out.
So this story comes out of NPR, and they talk
Fake
about
news.
They talk about the fact that Lone Star ticks have a very interesting little affliction, red meat allergies after being bitten by one. There's a little anecdotal story here about Laura Sterling, 51 years old, who is a realtor. She was diagnosed with that allergy last year. She got a tick bite while walking with her dog, and she said the tick 3 or 4 inches to the left of her hip bone was there. She took it off.
3 or 4 inches long. I'm like, no. Fuck that.
It's around her hip bone. She took it off, threw it away. As you do with a tick, you kill it, you remove it.
Yep.
And then 3 weeks later, she ate an Italian-style pork sausage for dinner, and she had a terrible reaction. She said about 6 hours after her meal, the allergy hit. It was in the middle of the night. I woke up covered in hives. She woke her husband with all her itching and scratching. She felt lightheaded. She experienced stomach aches and other gastrointestinal troubles. An allergist gave her a blood test to check for alpha-gal meat allergy. When the test came back positive, she was told to avoid all red meat, including beef, pork, and lamb. Never think of pork as a red meat.
That's the other red meat. That was their whole, right?
No, it was the other white meat. That was
other
their
white meat?
slogan.
Okay.
It was literally their slogan.
the other white meat,
Very few people understand that pork is a new meat in popularity. Before 1985, no one ate
But it's
bacon.
not a white meat, but it's colored
No
white.
one ate bacon. It was like a rarity.
Yeah.
Like if you went to someone's house, they're cooking bacon, you'd be like, "What's that delicious weird meat you're cooking?" And then the pork industry was like, the other white meat. And then all of a sudden, we got pork chops. We got shake and bake for pork chops.
Yeah.
We got bacon. Pulled pork is new.
I mean, people have been eating...
they've always been making them, but in popularity in the United
people
States.
have been eating pigs since pigs were pigs.
Yeah,
but,
pig was never popular in the U.S. as a cultural food where you go and like, oh, where's the best pulled pork in your town? Or I want bacon on everything.
I was going to say, even the bacon on everything has been since I've been an adult.
But only since we've been adults.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I was a kid, everybody wasn't like, I got to put bacon on everything.
There was no such thing as a bacon burger when I was a child. You couldn't get one.
I mean, I remember
I think I was in my teens.
It was like
when I first
remember
heard
like
of one.
the closest thing would be like turkey bacon sandwiches were a thing. Yeah, I remember having those.
That was probably
early in my 20s, probably. I don't know. Like
I was in my late teens, early 20s when I first had a bacon burger.
Yeah, I definitely had some bacon
because they didn't exist.
No, I definitely knew I had turkey bacon sandwiches when I was a teen because the Tunbridge store made those awesome sandwiches and steak and cheese and stuff, and I used to have a great turkey bacon.
I used to eat turkey pastrami sandwiches.
Yeah. No,
where they cured turkey the same way they cured pastrami.
I had turkey and then with bacon on top of it. Not to be confused with turkey bacon. No, because I made that mistake over the co-op. I ordered a turkey bacon sandwich, and they gave me essentially a BLT with turkey bacon. And all I wanted all day was thinking about turkey with bacon on top of turkey. And instead, they gave me. I didn't have turkey. Nor did I have real bacon. It was the most disappointed. Luckily, I ordered 2 sandwiches that day.
How far back do you think you have to go to find BLTs in popular culture, like in popular dining?
Oh, popular dining? I don't know. I ate them all the time. I ate them all the time when we were a kid, but because they were for poor people.
Yeah, bacon was a bad meat. No one bought it back when we were kids.
I don't know.
No, the bacon lobby industry. That's why the other white meat was a slogan, just like got milk.
Yeah, that was and cheese. When we were growing up.
No one was buying milk and cheese at one point, and then they got milk, and it really pushed it home that everyone should have cheese on everything, and milk is good for you, and it really isn't. It's fatty and gross.
Yeah.
But regardless,
cheese is fatty and gross. But man, do I love cheese!
I can do cheese. I can't do milk. I don't.
I
cook with milk.
I don't do milk.
I'll buy it to cook with.
I'm semi-lactose intolerant, so generally when I go cheese, like going with the lactose heavy cheeses or non-lactose cheddar. I grew up with a lot of cheddar, but that doesn't hurt me.
So the gist of the story: if you get bit by a Lone Star tick, you can get the alpha-gal meat allergy. It is a sugar enzyme that they can basically put into you, and when you get it, you can't eat red meats anymore. They're saying there are 5,000 cases of this in the U.S. alone at the moment. And the range of the Lone Star tick, it does start in Texas, goes all the way to the east to Florida, and goes all the way up to the southern tip of Vermont, southern tip of New Hampshire, and the southern tip of Maine. So this is a climate change issue, and as climate change continues to push the species into greater and greater, grounds, if you will, areas where they can live, we're going to be seeing more of this. We live in central Vermont, so we have no worry as of right now, but it only takes one person to bring a tick from the southern part of the state on a drive on their clothes up to the middle and drop it.
Yep.
And then boom, you got ticks here.
I mean, I've been driving and they've been in the car, crawling on the dashboard and stuff before. So they'll drop from trees when you have your window open and just
drop ticks.
So good stuff. Anybody who doesn't live in a tick state, which I don't know how many of there are even not tick states anymore, but you're lucky. Although you probably have other shit you have to worry about too. But
yeah, I mean, if we have Brazilian or any equatorial listeners right now, they're like, yeah, literally everything will kill us where we live. Everything.
Well,
we're like, there's this one tick.
Everybody knows that. Yeah, we have this
one
thing that might possibly bite you and make you sick. Like a
if
1 in 1,000
if you go
chance.
into its environment too.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It's almost a shark argument. Like sharks are bad. No, they're really bad if you go in their house.
Yeah, they're not coming. They're not knocking on your door and fucking stabbing you. There's no shark home invasion.
No, this is the shark argument all over again, almost.
Yeah,
Except for the fact that it's not bad to hike. and
You
to
know?
walk in the
No,
woods.
of course.
and
That's how we get it.
You should
And-
be
and-
able to do those.
And also,
fun
just
little
like
activities.
even like 10 years ago, this wasn't a big problem.
when I was a
so.
child, I walked through fields all the time, and I never got bitten by a tick once as a child.
No, it's way worse now.
Actually, I've never been bitten by a tick ever in my entire life.
Yeah, I've only had a handful.
Never.
Luckily,
My daughter had to pull one off her head once when she was a kid in Vermont. So, and they were there when my kids were kids.
yeah, and a lot of the ones that I end up crawling on us and latching on are wood ticks anyway, which really aren't the bad ones. So.
Oh, you rapscallion, you
Yeah.
little wood dick. Oh, you can suckle.
Yeah,
You can
those
suckle.
those are the ones you can see really easily. You don't have to check yourself
Jared has,
over. They're
Jared
like
has
big
a family of
little
wood
fuckers.
ticks, like just around his waist.
Your little
They're all
ghost, eh?
suckling.
Who's so happy? Yeah. that's
Oh, no,
right.
don't stop crowding him out. They
Oh,
got
yeah,
the
yeah.
runt who's trying to get in. They're crowding him.
Oh, he fell off. He can't get off his back. Ooh, look at him, pudgy little fuck. Oh, he exploded. They will eat until they explode. I forgot.
That's what an animated special, just of your tick babies.
Oh God, it's disgusting. Sounds like something that would be on Tim and Eric, kind of like that gross out
like
humor.
Muppet Babies. Like they
Yeah.
run, like they run around. They got like a little playpen. They got some toy. They got a little tricycle they can ride around on. And every once in a while, your giant finger comes in with your booming voice, like God. You're like,
Yeah.
"Hey kids!" You accidentally squish one.
Oh
no!
yeah.
But they all have like one's a doctor, one's a scientist, one does parkour. Like they've all got personalities.
Oh, yeah.
They're the Mutant Ninja Turtle trope. There's 4 of them.
Okay.
You got the smart one, the angsty one, the leader, and what's the other one? The dumb one.
Yeah. Or the party animal. Yeah.
Party animal. So you got the tropes.
Yeah.
And then maybe
Yeah,
you throw in a curveball. There's the girl one, like Smurfette.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, Tickette.
April O'Neil. I don't know what the girl
Yeah.
turtle was because there really wasn't one.
There wasn't one. It was just literally a human
All
being.
turtles are boys. We get it.
There was a human being who's like, well, we need to make sure that the kids find the woman hot, and they're probably not going to find a turtle woman hot. I probably would have.
We got to
They're
make
like,
sure
it's hard
those
to put boobs on a woman turtle.
Oh, you can't put boobs on a turtle because of the chest plate.
They would have made it happen, and they would have been like, this is
Oh.
ridiculous. They can't have
But
the
it's-
curves. They can't have like an hourglass figure.
But
They'd have to have like
instead,
lipstick.
They had to make kids' parents explain why that anthropomorphic turtle is sexually attracted to a human woman.
Yes. And
got
how
it.
April O'Neil, I'm guessing cloacas again are in there. Are turtles cloacas, or do they straight up have
Turtles?
I mean-
do male turtles have dicks? Because
think-
if a girl
I think probably,
turtle has
yeah.
a cloaca but not a pussy, does a boy turtle have a different thing than a dick?
I thought we've
like
seen
an
turtle dicks
external
before.
cloaca, like a reverse cloaca.
I don't know, man. Let me see.
He has a cloaca, but then when he's horny, he shoots it out of his body like a prolapsed anus, and then jams it into the girl turtle.
Let's see. Male sea turtles have a penis, and a female sea turtle has a vagina.
Oh wait, they have vaginas?
Yeah, both are internal organs located inside the tail. The penis is about 30 centimeters.
Wait, in the tail?
30 centimeters in length in male green turtles, and the hook at the end of the penis, classic penis,
Whoa.
adjacent to the sperm duct, presumably assist in sperm transfer. Both sexes have a cloaca.
Both?
An opening on the tail that permits sexual intercourse, egg laying, and removal of waste. During mating, the male hooks his tail under the female. He has a claw-like tip on the end of his tail, and then brings the cloacas together. So they smush cloacas. They do the tribbing, as we like to call
Docking
it.
too.
Docking and tribbing. And let's see, blah, blah, blah. And then brings the cloacas together to allow entry of the penis into the female's cloaca. Very little is known about the mechanisms involved in mating. Sounds like you guys know a little bit more than I would expect. And sperm transfer was like, oh, we couldn't find out more. They pull the
They can't
blinds.
jam a camera in there. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Turtles have been seen mounted for over an hour. Good for you, the sting stuff. But it is impossible to tell.
well, I mean, they hook in. The girl wants to probably end it.
Yeah, it's impossible to tell whether intromission has occurred the whole time. So there we go. SeaTurtle.org. I'm assuming you know what you're talking about. You named yourself.
That made me more confused than anything. So do they shit, fuck, and reproduce through their tail? Like, is the end of the tail like a dick hole?
Let's see. The terrifying sex organs of male turtles. Gizmo.
Yes, that's what's getting me. Like, I know what a turtle's tail looks like. I didn't know the end of it was hollow,
Oh, let's see.
and that it has a hook, and that it shoots sperm, eggs, shit, babies.
Oh, yeah.
All those come out of a tail.
Let's see. Yeah.
So the worst thing you could do to a sea turtle or a turtle is put a condom on its tail.
Yeah.
Because then it couldn't shit, it couldn't give birth, it couldn't inseminate, and it couldn't be inseminated.
Look at this. Yeah. Huh.
Or a
is interesting.
little super glue on the tip of a turtle's tail.
Male intromittent
Oh,
organs.
guess I don't do anything now.
Huh.
Guess I just fill up with shit till I pop and don't fuck.
Yeah. Well, the more you know.
Real quick, before you close that out, tits on a turtle. Tits on a turtle.
Tits on a turtle?
Do turtles have tits?
Big breasts, right?
Breasts will probably get you the better search option. Tits on turtle. Turtle power.
That's definitely going to come up with Ninja Turtles.
Like weird Rule 34 Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, let's see. Turtles do not have nipples. None of the 356 species of turtles have nipples. They do not breastfeed their babies. In fact, they do not care for them. That makes sense because they're
don't
not
even care for them.
They're not
eggs,
mammals.
Eggs.
Yeah, they're not mammals.
Birds don't have nipples either, right?
Yeah, you don't really need them at that point. I mean,
so that's why you can't do a female Ninja Turtle because the kids would be confused because of the lack of tits. It would just be like this feminine boy, which would sound more like a trans turtle.
Yeah, nowadays they definitely wouldn't allow that. The right wings have
trans Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. They'd be like, what are you guys doing trying to teach your kids? It'd be like, well, okay, we'll just have them fuck a woman instead. Also, they're giant animals that came from the sewer and do fucking ninja.
Teenage transvestite Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I think it's fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, they all can be that way because you can't tell the genders.
Trans turtles. Yeah.
Michelangelo was a girl. Boom.
Boom. I said it. Send
your hate mail. Send your hate mail.
Name them all like,
Donatello was gay and Michelangelo was a girl.
And you could just have all very like
Raphael's a Trump supporter. He wears the red bandana, so red cap.
Oh God, yeah, the red bandana with "Make America Great."
Oh, he's always angsty and like kind of nasty and shit too.
Yeah, he's always like the victim.
And he wants to be the leader really badly. Oh wow, the one with the red bandana wants to lead the team.
Yeah, man, Raphael used to be my favorite, but you just made that up about him. And
I think I just red-pilled Raphael.
I think you just ruined Raphael for me.
Red-pilled Raphael.
I always liked him because he was like angsty. Him and Donatello, because Donatello was a nerd. So I was like, those two were my favorites. The other two I could take or leave.
And Leonardo's just our failing democracy.
Yeah.
Just an anthropomorphic. Wow, I can't even
anthropomorphic,
yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we said everything we need to say about Lone Star ticks. The biggest gist I want to take away from this is if you live in the Northeast, they're coming. They're here. They're coming. Yeah. And if they bite you, say goodbye to lamb, beef, and apparently pork.
Yeah.
I still don't buy pork as the red meat.
I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Like chicken has dark meat, but it's still white.
But it's poultry. I don't know. Like these are just different, man. I don't know.
Maybe because pork is from a mammal.
That's what I'm wondering.
And chicken's from a bird. Maybe that's how we.
Poultry is different.
Even though it's white, it's still red meat because it's mammal.
Yeah, because you can have like
cannibals. Cannibals can't eat people if they get bitten by the tick.
I was actually thinking that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just cure your cannibalism.
Oh, well, cured your cannibalism. Well, I guess I'll just eat a steak. Oh, no, I can't eat that either.
Yeah.
Like, they have to go all the way through the animal food chain. They go from people to cow to, of course, pork, because you think it's white meat.
Yeah, they're just going to eat chicken.
You end up with chicken, and they're, what a sad life for a cannibal.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
All right, well, the next story we have, I brought this one to the table, too, so I might as well jump right into it. Val Kilmer can't talk anymore. I did not know this. I did not know he had a disease that kept him from talking.
I do know because when people were asking about like what was gonna we were like, oh, is Val Kilmer coming back to Top Gun and all this kind of stuff?
Or is he gonna be Batman again in the multiverse Flash movie?
And so I think like they kept some things quiet for a little while, but he did have throat cancer and had some treatments done. And this story, by the way, a couple of these stories are a little bit quote unquote older. We just haven't covered them. We had a slow news week. This was technically from
hence our mental
August.
Breakdown at the beginning of the show where we decided to completely kill the show while talking on the show.
We spend more time trying to find like 3 stories than we will spend actually recording the entire show.
Yep, I definitely spent more time working on this episode than doing it.
I took 4 passes through my multi-Reddit.
Oof.
All to find like 2 stories.
So what's more interesting than Val Kilmer having throat cancer, because I mean anyone can have throat cancer, is that he can't talk, but he can through technology. Sonatic is a company that has been working with Val Kilmer. They are a UK-based startup, and they revealed an AI program that they did in partnership with Val Kilmer to restore his voice by audio sampling everything ever recorded of him talking.
So a deep fake, essentially.
And doing a deep fake of his voice. Yeah. But like, think of like, who's the guy in the wheel? Excuse me, I had to burp on air. Stephen Hawking.
Which is funny because everybody, that's all we know how he talks. Like,
no one's ever heard him talk.
Yeah, that's like, and he would be British. Like, people forget that. Like,
yeah, but there's no audio recordings, are there?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
probably not enough for an AI program.
Oh, definitely not for an AI program.
I would hope an AI program for Stephen Hawking would take his normal British speaking that is recorded maybe in a few places, very few, but then the wide breadth of him talking as the machine, and mash him up.
Yeah, so it's like, hello, Mike. I wish that I could walk again.
Right?
Yeah. But the thing about Stephen Hawking is that became such his trademark voice that even when they had better technology and better voice things, he was like, no, this is essentially me now. Like, because he had the old school voice program.
I would probably stick with it too.
And he's like,
otherwise he'd sound like Siri, and people are like, who is that?
Well, that's
it's
like
recognizable.
Suddenly that he could get like a British voice. They probably could have like taken at least gotten something close to the timbre of his original voice. And maybe not done the full deep fake, but they could have gotten closer. Because I mean, just the stuff on the Mac that's been there for 10 years is better than the Stephen Hawking one.
It makes a lot of sense. It's recognizable.
Try to find that old one like online. When I was making some robot song stuff, I had to like go and I had to dig to find that like old school sounding one
because the other one's outdated.
The other ones sound too good.
Yeah. That's why archiving is good. I'm glad people save things like audio files and shit like that.
Yeah, well, somebody actually like recreated the original program that essentially Stephen Hawking used. So you can go online, type stuff in, and it goes to their server, runs a virtual server, runs this program like actually natively on its original software, which is like an old Tandy computer or whatever from the 1980s.
Just one of those plugged into a very high tech room.
Oh yeah, to like feed the cloud. Yeah.
Adapter after adapter after adapter plugged into each other to make it work.
God forbid if one of these fucking fries because Radio Shack doesn't exist anymore.
Right?
This is what it was.
It's just a daisy chain of 39 adapters from one for every year that the adapter changed.
Oh yeah.
You got to keep going doop doop, and then next soon as like USB-C's dead, they're like,
God damn,
add another to the chain.
Yep. I worried that actually when I had the old interface plugged in here, it was kind of comical because it was going through 3 adapters, like just to plug into my USB-C. Yeah.
All right. So that's the meat and potatoes of the story overall, is that this team is doing this. And I guess the idea is awesome that anyone who has that breadth of content out there would benefit from this, like most millionaires who've been in movies.
Oh, yeah. I'd say anybody.
But your
with,
average
anybody
person.
And honestly,
you and I could probably have our
335 episodes. They could, especially with my, I have separate audio tracks.
Mine would be sometimes like this.
Yeah.
And then sometimes all high pitch and shit.
Yeah, and like I'm just going to randomly be Australian. Not that I've ever done an Australian voice before, but
like every other
I've
word.
sometime impersonate my friend Bruce, who hasn't been on the show for a while. And but it's too bad I haven't seen Bruce in a while.
We should bring him back.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of good Australian horror movies, right?
Oh, damn straight there are. Yeah,
like there you go. Ones. Oh my god, the incentive. All right, let's pause the show. We need to talk shop for a minute, people. Unless you want to hear it, now vote online.
Yep.
I'm waiting to see if we get any reactions on website, Twitter, etc. Like, we do get people talking to us. They like to chat, say how they feel about the show sometimes, or pitch us stories. I'm kind of curious if we get any feedback on this one. Yeah. It might be crickets, but
yeah, fuck it. We'll then we'll.
I think no news is good news. If no one says, dude, don't fucking do that, then we should do that.
Well, I'm just gonna.
That's how I do everything in life. Should I push this elderly man down the stairs? No one heard me say that, including him.
No news is good news. Wait, what?
Why'd you push me? Because no one said not to.
Yeah, the no news is good news killer struck again.
I would have said, definitely don't push me.
Yeah, you're just one of the haters. I don't listen to my haters.
There's the haterade at the bottom of the stairs. I think it's blood. I don't think that's haterade coming out of my temples. I think it's blood.
What do you say, haterade?
Yeah.
That's a good name of the show, too. Huh? I don't know. Poison Rainbows is pretty good.
Nothing's beat Poison Rainbow so far.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, this would work for us and people who've been in a lot of movies, or even singers. But
don't you think this could maybe be the...
But not for normal people.
Some new content, too, is if I were somebody famous, I would also just like have them create... So even if I didn't need it, I would have them do it, and then they could sell my voice as like a package, or like with Waze or whatever. You can get like different voices. I'd be like, oh, I don't have that problem. I can still use my voice, but hey, does somebody else want to sound exactly like me, who's like in a wheelchair or can't use their voice or whatever? Then suddenly you're like, oh, this guy talks exactly like
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, exactly.
If I'm ever crippled in that sense where I can't talk, and I have a little thing on me that can talk for me, I'm doing Arnold. I want to go like, I'd like a bagel, please.
Yeah, I'm going Liza Minnelli myself.
There's a lot of good voices out there.
But the thing is, you could have a package and you could literally just like go through different ones. You're like, I want to sound like this today. Boom, bing, bong, boom.
Yeah, I need my tires rotated.
Oh man, you could have
I'll be back.
Conversation.
Dude, people would be like, dude, did you just hear that guy?
Yeah.
He's got a really sad illness.
So it's
like,
fucking,
you gotta get past that point, too. Like, everyone's like, dude, he just walked in and sounded just like Arnold. He's dying.
Yeah, the sad thing is he won't be back. He's got 6 days to live.
You might as well just keep the car. Don't even change the tires. Run his credit card, though, real quick.
I've always...
tire change number 9 today for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, dying Jimmy.
I had an idea for an action movie where so it's like let's say like The Rock, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, like it's sort of a like the not Enforcers, whatever,
like Expendables
style or whatever, and they're doing a heist and they have to dress up as these old timey outfits, like they're at like maybe at a stage or something like that. Like, oh shit, we got to disguise ourselves. They open it up and there's just the only thing they're like, oh, they've been putting on a show on stage about these old composers and stuff. So Sylvester Stallone is like, he's like, man, give me Mozart, and then The Rock is like, oh shit, I guess it's Beethoven for me, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger says, I'll be back. Jesus Christ, dad joke. I beat my own dad joke.
I'll be back. Oh my god.
I beat my own dad joke. That's 2 dad jokes of the year. Just in this one episode. It's a long walk to get to it.
I was just going to say that exactly. A long walk for that dad joke.
Here's the thing. I want to actually write the movie around that one joke and then pitch it to Hollywood and see if I can get that movie made just so I can get that one joke into real.
I want the movie to be called Dad Joke the Movie. There's never been a dad joke the movie.
So, those 3 guys are definitely dad. Like Rock's the youngest out of those guys. Like, but I'm thinking like big action movie stars. They are all dads that have to like save. like they have to do some kind of crazy heist to save their kids' high school or I don't know, elementary school or whatever the fuck.
Real quick, just a thing for people to try out. Young Rock. I hate to say it, it's a fucking good show.
I like The Rock anyway.
Watch Young Rock.
Yeah,
you know the Asian dude in it. He's from lots of stuff. He's from a bunch of Marvel stuff, actually. He's hilarious in it, and it's written well and weird.
Honestly, I've dug The Rock from day one. He's a fun
quality,
guy.
Fun show. It's about him running for president in the future, and it's flashbacks to the 70s, 80s, and 90s at different points in his life,
which are actually based on his real life.
Things about and it is from his real life, and it's about the history of wrestling.
Obviously,
so they have Andre the Giant, the Iron Sheik.
That's what it's actually almost gotten me to watch it because
it's really good.
He grew up in the era where I was like paying attention. It was a little bit later than that, but paying attention to wrestling. That's why I started watching Dark Side of the Ring. You
don't even need to like wrestling to like it, but if you like wrestling,
I like the classic wrestling. I like the 1980s and early 1990s wrestling, and actually watching Dark Side of the Ring stuff, I realized how interesting like even older wrestling is, like before it became the soap opera.
Oh, this explains the history of the soap opera part too, like how it happened.
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
I've been watching a lot of like old classic wrestling documentaries lately.
I'm mentioning it because I just watched the newest one, and I love the juxtaposition of Andre the Giant in the 70s teaching a very young Rock what love is.
I've got to watch this,
while fishing together, I'm just like, Jesus
I feel
Christ.
Like this is what show I've got to watch with my brother.
And then in the year 2055, I think it is, The Rock running for president, explaining to the Asian dude who's in every episode talking to him how mangoes are fueled by the souls of the elderly.
Okay.
Like that, the mango has the power, and he's like, "What kind of power?" It's like, "Well, it drains its power from the elderly." And then he's like, "It does what now?" And he's like, "Let's continue the other thing we're talking about." It doesn't address what he just said at all, and it's after a long mango montage about mangoes in the 80s.
I would definitely, I've definitely got to check that out because I had been interested. I didn't realize he even had those like old classic. I thought it was all about his life. I didn't realize it has classic wrestlers in there.
Oh yeah, and they're cast super well.
I would well. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. My brother and I used to watch that like classic wrestling, like Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. That was ours, but this was probably a little bit right before then, where
it's all over.
Andre the Giant was like the old thing. So yeah,
like I said, it takes place over 4 decades: the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2050s.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, because then when The Rock came up, that was.
And when I say 90s, it's like 92 or something. It's early 90s because he was a failed footballer at that point, and that's the point of that.
And he started becoming huge
as he's becoming a wrestler.
Yeah, in the late 90s is when he started becoming like the big shit.
Yeah, so it's as he's becoming a wrestler, as he's just a little kid watching his dad be a wrestler, and then in the middle where he's just like kind of living, going to high school and shit.
I'll check it out.
High school him is the least interesting him, but also it's fun. Shows he was a shoplifter, a dirty fucking thief.
Yeah. God.
But yeah, this isn't the Young Rock podcast, although we might be next week.
Oh, pivot! In the middle of a show, just go pivot! It's like the change places! Just like classic fucking...
We'll just watch old wrestling matches and then talk about them.
I just talk about horror movies as we're watching the old wrestling matches. So
there you go.
You hear the wrestling match going on in the background, and then perfect. All right, we have got time for one more story, and I think the way we're going to do it is skip the next one. That was like a Hail Mary pass. I like the man tearing his own lung. That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, it's an all right one. Okay. Let's just get into
Badass
it.
of the week is a quick one. We could use that as a
We can always save that for next week.
Well, and also if we want, we're still going to do I'll give you the headline for the.
We might not find anything fun and use it for next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, a man tore his own lung from masturbating. Doctors say.
Yes.
Now, have you ever thought about worrying about anything while masturbating, like say your parents coming into the room, your wife leaving the room?
Yeah.
Those are the two big worries, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you only masturbate around your wife, and if she leaves, that's out of disgust.
Well, then if she leaves, then it's a sin. If she's around, technically, it's just foreplay.
Isn't that normal?
Yeah, it's foreplay.
You can only masturbate when you're married if your wife gives you consent and watches.
And watches, yes.
If you ever do it outside of that, you're cheating on her.
But in a judging way.
No, you're 100% cheating on her.
It's in a judgy way. You've got to feel guilty while you jerk it.
Oh, yeah, and if like she walks out of the room and you keep going, you're cheating on her.
The second that guilt...
That's infidelity.
If that guilt wall comes down, the sin
Marriage
comes
over.
in. Yeah.
Marriage over.
That's when you become a sinner.
So if you had to worry about those things, now you can worry about actually tearing your own lung.
Here's the thing, it's
thwacking it.
It's so rare that I'm going to say
Thwacking
this guy's like took
Probably
it. Now it's not going to happen again for a while, so we're safe.
Yeah, if statistically it's like 1 in a billion, now you get 1 billion jerks before it'll happen again.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that probably just happened as I said that. 1 billion globally.
Oh yeah, well no, I
jerks.
mean 1 billion jerks happen at least once a second.
I believe
I probably hit that about once a week.
1 billion?
Yeah, I hit 1 billion jerks a week.
So, from the story, a man's session of masturbation inadvertently led him to spending almost a week in the hospital. In the recent case reported from Switzerland, doctors detailed how a 20-year-old ended up with air leaking into his chest after some seemingly innocent self-love. Fortunately, the injury wasn't severe, and he recuperated just fine. According to the report published in May, issued of Radiology Case Reports. Wow, I love that magazine. I jerk off to it all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, look at that radiological scan. Oh,
yeah.
The clarity. The clarity.
The case reports are very interesting.
Yeah, he came to the emergency room after jerking off with stabbing chest pain and trouble breathing, and his face had also gotten swollen. The doctors could hear distinct cracking noises as he breathed in and out. His symptoms had begun while he was lying in bed and masturbating. Scans showed he had, pneumomediastinum.
I tried pronouncing that earlier so I'd be able to get it, and I immediately forgot.
Pneumomediastinum.
Yeah.
Stinium.
Pneumomediastinum.
I'm very close to it. A condition where air circulating through the respiratory system somehow ends up escaping into the space in the chest between the two lungs. The man's air sacs were also damaged, and he required high doses of oxygen. The doctors made the decision to put him in the intensive care unit for observation, and he was given preventative antibiotics and acetaminophen for pain. Now, essentially, he ripped a membrane, and I'm not sure the mechanics how jerking off did it.
Well, it sounded because they say it can happen with bad asthma. It sounds like it's something respiratory. Like he was really going at it vigorously and going.
His breathing was getting very labored.
Like this is a 20-year-old jerk where it's still really exciting to you and everything like that. It's not just like I got to do this so my dick
I've
will
never
stop.
done this in Sears before.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me.
Well, that's the exciting part. Yeah, it's when you're running away.
You want to yell at them to stop looking at you, but you want them to keep watching.
It was technically me losing my breath running from the cops while jerking off, not the jerking itself.
So, that is the bulk of the story. I did not know we needed to add that to the list of things to worry about in life. I feel like every day like this episode alone, we had to worry about Lone Star ticks making you allergic to all red meat. Jerking off can rip your lungs apart.
Yeah.
Someone could fuck up recording your voice and give you a voice where you use some of your podcasting voice and some of your normal voice, and it comes out kind of a mishmash, like half Australian, half normal.
Some of let's see, Miss Piggy /
some is Miss Piggy. Oh, for me, Paula Dean.
Yeah.
Oh.
Excuse me, honey, I'm afraid I've got cancer.
Oh,
bro, like it's the worst. Hey, honey,
let's go up to the bedroom and fuck. I'm gonna do dirty things to you.
Wow, a lot of misspeaking in this one. Sorry, Parladine.
Well, they grab the words you've used the most, and I think I've said that phrase.
Yeah.
There you go, the most.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do dirty things
that's
with butter.
Right. Yeah. Which I like to think the fact that you think that if that didn't sound like her, it would definitely sound more normal. Like if you just said, "I want to do dirty things,"
Or you're
with
just
butter.
like in the kitchen and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the store. Do you know if we have enough butter?" Like just comes out like randomly.
Oh, it would.
And no one can treat you seriously because they'd be like,
guarantee the only time you've ever said butter on the show in that voice.
"Butter." Here, I better fix that. Butter.
Yeah, long way to go.
Butter.
You've done Paula Dune
butter.
a lot.
Butter.
Also, I'm talking over it. It's not going to be usable.
You'd have to, yeah, you're right. Because then it would be me saying that, but you'd hear you behind it going, that's not usable.
There's going to be a lot. We talk over each other way too much. There's going to be way too much bleed over in our,
There would.
versions
Yeah.
of the voices.
Literally, you'd say butter and
And it's definitely it's going to get us mixed up where it's going to assume you're me, and at some points my voice is going to go in as yours, and you're going to become me. It's going to be very confusing for everybody.
You have to do that bank thing where they ask you to like say a sentence in your voice because they pre-recorded your
Yes.
voice to authenticate your voice over the phone.
Yes.
But then it's two people kind of mashed
Yeah,
together.
yeah. It's just a loud cacophonous. bunch of
Would you
bullshit.
like to merge accounts with Jeremiah Johnson? No, yes.
No.
They both say at the same time. No, yes.
Okay, we'll get right on that for you.
You now have a merged bank
No,
account.
yes, no, yes, no, yes. Oh man.
Oh, the fun of being, the fun of having a crippling, debilitating illness,
Yes.
and having technology fail you.
That's right, boy. It doesn't get much worse. But hey, at least we've got something. I like the fact that we're stuck with that. We could have just asked for like a robot voice. Like, no, you've got enough content, so we have to create one for you.
Yeah, you literally fall into the threshold of actor, singer.
Yeah, we've got enough
comedian.
recorded content in between that, and
Like, we have to do it this way because by doing it, we learn more about the process
Yeah,
of doing
so
it.
we're essentially-
you're a forced skinny pig.
you're getting it for free because we're using
and
it
that's
to
pretty
train
cool,
our
huh?
AI.
Yeah, they're trying to sell it. That's pretty cool. It's free.
Huh?
And you're like, oh, I also sell like that sometimes. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Technically, the voice is free, but we are going to have to charge you $4.2 million for the procedures because it is not covered by insurance because insurance is terrible.
Every once in a while, you might have to like smack yourself in the throat because you'll get stuck in dad joke mode. And it's just everything comes out as a dad joke.
Oh, man, I would love that. If you could actually just translate everything you ever say into a dad joke. Oh, my God. We're really just...
I can only communicate in dad jokes.
Oh, it's like...
It'd be so hard.
That's your disease, is like you can only communicate in dad jokes.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I would have to come up with a list of dad jokes, like go on the internet and see if you could
There's gotta
put
be,
them
yeah.
in order to have like an average day, like to start your day,
Yeah,
talk to your
'cause
spouse,
essentially
your
the
boss.
punchline needs to be what you actually are going to say, but you have to build it up to a dad joke. And dad jokes are all usually kind of stupid plays on words, so it totally would work.
Yep. The last thing has to be what you want. Like
Yes, the punchline, yeah.
You want milk in your coffee? And it has to be a dad joke that qualifies whether you do or not in
Yeah.
the end.
Yes.
Oh, trying to do that on your own would kill your brain.
Yes, I think so.
But if it was all pre-programmed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is you got AI enough to train them on dad jokes in general, and then it knows what you want to say, and it finds a dad joke that fits that. Or creates a dad joke that fits
I just want that.
I kind of want an AI that just creates dad jokes based on you feed it a line and it finds a joke that makes that the punchline.
It might exist.
If it doesn't, I've definitely been looking at that, that whatever the newest Google AI that does all these crazy things, filling in, mixing pixels and pictures, being able to type out completing your sentences. The one
Give you
that
the missing dad joke in life.
No, we just I can't remember if we actually ended up reporting on it, but we may not have because we couldn't find anything more. But how the Google AI can explain jokes to you. We didn't include it because we only found the one example that they used in the report, and it wasn't something we wanted to actually type in.
And it's not
different
public.
jokes.
It's not-
Yeah. But
There's
once
no public beta.
Yeah, no, you can. I think you can latch into the software and utilize it, but you essentially have to build programs on top of it. The actual applications of it are not publicly available.
The only public beta I know of is Trump supporters. What's going on a political note? But you know what? Next week we're going to come back with a different show.
We're going to come back with Halfway to Halloween and
Halfway to Halloween. We're going to give a test to the new format as we decided when we took our half-hour break in the middle of the
Yes.
show. We are going to test the format next week. May not stick, may stick. We may change the number of
Either
the
way,
show
we-
to something crazy. We might go back to number 1.
Shit, yeah, maybe. Yeah. And
That'd be hard to get guests, though. No one wants to be on the first episode of a show.
Yeah, no. I'd let this go.
People will think you're established if you're episode 1,000, though.
That's true. We can just fucking lie.
We've been out longer than Kevin Smith,
Yep.
and you just name every older podcaster. Be like, yep.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's make it 20,000. People like you.
Episode
had a
20,000.
podcast. Like,
Is it daily?
Yeah, and even if you did it
Is
daily,
it hourly?
the only hourly podcast. It's been running for 20 years straight.
We'll be back every hour on the hour with new hour-long
Yeah,
content.
yeah.
I'm
And-
sure I'm hungry.
Yeah, and stay tuned next
1
week.
hour is just you eating and reviewing the food because that's life, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a review podcast, but you review everything you do literally all the time.
Next week we move to a 90-minute format. 90 minutes every hour.
There's going to be a little overlap.
Oh God, why did I do this? Why did I fucking do this? And like a version of you starts 30 minutes earlier to I don't know.
Yeah, it would just be overlapping audio.
Yeah. God. Oh my God. That's so confusing.
Okay, well, get lost.
Get lost.
So be my grave without a name. That earth may swallow up my shame.